podcast. So obviously we don't take ourselves very seriously, and we hope that you don't either.
We got super serious people. Yeah, I was going through my Batman covers saying which one Batman farted in.
Well, we'll talk mainly about Strange Adventures. That's what we're here for.
Cool.
But I would say my first question to Mitch and Tom would be, we know you well for Mr. Miracle and the issues that you've done with your previous Batman run, Tom. How did that transition into Strange Adventures? How did that relationship form into this new series that you're going to be writing and then doing the art on as well?
Well, I made him the godfather of my child, so I'm all locked in now.
Okay, there's a tight relationship there.
Yeah, but the kids are assholes. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last. I mean, I don't know if you know this. He's throwing shit when he's not supposed to.
That's true.
No, yeah, yeah. I mean, Strange Adventures came right out of Mr. Miracle, and but the idea was. It's kind of complicated because we're like, okay, yeah, Mr. Miracle's a huge success. Let's just do it again, you know?
Yeah.
And you're, and the only way to do that again would be to not do it again. Like if we did just exactly Mr. Miracle, we went back to a 9-panel grid and had a sad superhero and his wife bonding, but like a different one.
Yeah.
Like, here's Booster Gold and Ice having adventures. It would. So the idea was to do something that was in that line. It was as ambitious as Mr. Miracle, and hopefully somewhat groundbreaking, but break different ground and do something completely different. Yeah. And
Can you give us a little background as to, just from my standpoint, reading comics, I was big into Batman, but Strange Adventures is a story that I would say a lot of people aren't as familiar with.
Yeah.
Can you give us some background as to what that story is about?
Yeah, I mean, this is a much. I mean, I obviously wrote Batman. This is a very obscure character. Like if you look up the top 200 DC characters, I think he's like 182 or something. Yeah. So Adam Strange, and it's really because Adam Strange was not even in Strange Adventures, the book, classic book Strange Adventures. He was in Mystery in Space. That is so this nerdy DC history. So that's how confusing the book Strange Adventures didn't have Adam Strange in it. It was stupid. So Adam Strange is, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, he's not a very complicated hero. He's an archaeologist, Indiana Jones type, who a Zeta beam hits him, which is a magical beam that goes to Earth. And when the energy of the Zeta beam hits Earth, anyone who's in the Zeta beam gets transported to a different planet 25 trillion miles away. And if you think of it like Flash Gordon or Indiana Jones, just those kind of adventures where sort of a dude goes to a totally different culture and becomes like a king. Like if you think of Dune, the novel Dune's like that. A king or a cool dude, and he marries the princess, and his father-in-law is the king, and he has a laser and a jetpack, and sometimes he has a sword. It's all that just cliched stuff from the early 1900s. It was huge in the 1950s and became like our favorite movies in the 1980s. All that stuff is Adam Strange. And so it's a dissection of that idea.
Nice. Well, Doc, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a comic book artist?
I kind of fell backwards into it. I had never planned to do comic books. When I graduated from college, I thought I was going to do newspapers, and newspapers died. So I kind of just fell backward into drawing comics. And just, year by year, I just started.
We beat newspapers, which I think is something, right?
Right, yeah.
So how did it go? When you say newspapers, was that writing for a newspaper or
just doing strips?
Doing strips, okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it used to be like every comic writer was rejected strip off.
Oh yeah, yeah. That used to be the game in town.
Yeah, that was.
And that's how everybody made the crazy money with newspaper strips. But
and did that interest stem from just when you were growing up? Were those the comics you were introduced to?
Yep, that's how I got into comics. Was Peanuts and Calvin and Hobbes and everything from late '80s, early '90s newspapers.
Nice. And Doc, can you tell us about how you joined this trifecta and how your art with Mitch here is going to work together with Tom in Strange Adventures? How are you going to split up that art?
Well, I got brought into it because I think it was part of your pitch, right?
Yeah.
It was just bringing me in, and Mitch texted me and told me that I was going to be doing this.
That was well done. It would have fallen apart without it.
But no, I've known Mitch a long time. I think it's going to surprise folks how well our stuff works together. I know when we announced, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, that'll be great because our styles contrasts so much. But I think people are going to be surprised how much they work toward each other.
Okay.
It's like singing in harmony, kind of.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
they're like different notes, but they are on the same wavelength.
Yep.
That's a fucking metaphor. I'm a goddamn
Yeah.
writer. Putting that down.
I think I heard that you were going to kind of split up the art based on what's real and what's fiction, I would say, with this Adam Strange character. Is that still true? Or are you guys...
To a degree.
Okay.
So like in the book, Adam has written a memoir, like big New York Times bestseller memoir. And so if you look at how me and Evan split up the book, technically I'm like the now, and then Evan is that book.
Okay.
So anything of Evan's is technically Adam's recollection of events.
Yeah, the book is centered on a mystery that something happened. I mean, like I said, Adam Strange is the guy who travels to another planet and then he travels back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back on Earth now. He's retired from traveling to the planet. Something happened on that other planet that affected him and is going to affect the whole DC universe. And nobody knows what it is. And Mr. Terrific is investigating. He's your detective. He's your Marlowe. He's your whatever. And so Doc is telling the story of what happened, and Mitch is telling the detective story. And they happen simultaneously.
Got it. Last question here. I'm going to go down the line. What are you most excited for or most looking forward to for the readers of this reintroduction of Strange Adventures?
I mean, I'm sure I read a lot of comics, but I don't read all the comics. So I'm sure this has been done, but this is a comic that doesn't look like anything else on the shelf. And there's so many comics on the shelf that have been around for 80 years. But the idea of using two artists like this who are sort of tied at the hip to tell two different stories that thematically bump into each other and weave in and out. I mean, if you get a chance to do something new in comics, that's crazy. So I'm looking forward to them seeing. I honestly think they won't even notice, because I think the way the guys do the art, it's seamless. They won't see the seams, but it's something mildly revolutionary. Hopefully, yeah.
I'm excited for Mr. Terrific to be some people's new favorite character, because he, like, when Tom pitched Mr. Terrific to me, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, he's got a terrible name. It's a stupid jacket. And then
a T on his face.
Yeah, and a T on his face. But as I kind of got into the book and doing some research, but like mostly the scripts from Tom, I'm like, God, he's such a badass. Like, he's literally up there now on my list. So I'm excited for maybe that to happen for some other people.
Excellent.
And I actually kind of felt the same way about Adam. When you guys brought Adam to me, I was like, he has forever been one of my least favorite characters, just because I thought he looked so goofy. But I'm fully behind it now. I think Mitch and I are both, all three of us, I think, are doing something new to each of us. And I think that energy really reads in the book. So I'm excited for folks to see that.
That's why I'm frightened about it, because Mr. Miracle is, at its core, I mean, it's a sad book, but it's a sweet book. It's got this is not a sweet book. This is an angry book. Because I feel like that moment that Mr. Miracle was in our society, we were in a moment where we needed something sweet, and now it feels like we're getting into a moment where we need some anger. So
I remember you pitched it to me once, and it like made complete sense of like, if you look at TV from, what was it now, like 5 years ago or whatever, if Mr. Miracle is Stranger Things, kind of this fun but sometimes serious, romp, then Strange Adventures is True Detective.
One more question from off camera. Yes. Super professional again. Just looking into the background of Strange Adventures, and the early comics always involved a gorilla of some sort. I'm wondering.
Floating guns,
yeah,
the size of planets.
So I'm wondering how far back into the archives you want to go to dig out stuff like that and just include it in the book, or is that something maybe you didn't consider?
Oh, we got a Transformer in the first issue that's Octopus, and we have a giant lizard monster.
Yeah.
So we're got all that sort of stuff.
I think we're gonna hit all those old tropes and cliches of the form. So.
And Evan hates drawing gorillas, so.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, Tom, Mitch, Doc. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. And I look forward to reading Strange Adventures.
Awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can we get a chumps out real quick?
Chumps out.
Chumps out.
All we needed. Chumps out.
Chumps out. It's usually chumps out, motherfuckers.
Look at that language.
Tom, are you okay?
That was awesome.